We are back for another episode of 30 Days of Thought. Carpe Diem, seize the day. Did my reading to think, my writing to develop, my listening to hear was unsaid. That would be in rewatching this. We can unpack that. Speaking to let go. If you've listened to the last three episodes, life lesson, labels limit, mom, you'll recognize the discomfort in the third. And here I am recording the next day, Carpe Diem. I think there's lessons in the third, the first, second, and the third, but the third especially about consistency and facing. So before I continue to elaborate, I'm going to read 30 Days of Thought, Carpe Diem, page 11. And let's go. I have my writing, my notes. Let's do it together. Carpe Diem. Seize every day, but grapple with what is to be focused on now, and you shall be set free. Your decision will become real and rooted in truth with proper execution. The year happens not in one idea, but on the fleeting thoughts that excite us and drive us. It is our perceived will, that of decision, that will cause our year to be rich or poor. To win our lives back from unconscious slavery, we must take the year and break it down to the quarter, take the quarter and divide it into months, then adjust the month to a week and a week to a day. Carpe diem, seize the day by the sun's motion and use your gravitational purpose. Capitalize on each face, be it high or low, by the hour. Clasp the hour by the minute and the second by each moment. And now you have the formula for success. Do not wait or procrastinate. Success does not show up. It is a process of your decisions. Decision does not exist in the here and now. It is determined by your past development. And it is your unconscious thought that drives your conscious behaviors today. What you decide today affects your next decision tomorrow. Therefore, to seize the day, you must do your homework. Latin prose generally means the root for most profundity, and that is our lesson today. Internalize carpe diem and seize the day. I just realized I forgot to read my quote in the beginning. Success does not show up. It is a process of your decisions. One of my thoughts in rereading Carpe Diem is actually, here it is. I'm building my tomorrow self based on my today self, which has a relationship with my past self, whether I realize it or not, or regardless of I didn't run, or are able to admit it or not. I'm trying to phrase it differently. I'm building my tomorrow self based on my today self, which has a relationship with my past self. Whether I realize it or not, I'm willing to admit that to myself or not. That's what's happening. That's what's the case. My first note was embrace conflict. What must be done now? Yeah, so let's look at the first sentence. Seize every day, but grapple with what is to be focused on now, and you shall be set free. Your destiny will become real and rooted in truth and proper execution. The year happens not in one idea, but on a fleeting thoughts. Seize every day, but grapple with what is to be focused on now, and you shall be set free. What is to be focused on now? There's the scary things that we can avoid. whether it's the conversations of people, whether it's things that must be done that we can avoid. Our character molds in that process of embracing those conversations, embracing the tasks that we want to avoid. I go back to even this process of 30 days of thought, of reading to think, writing to develop, listening to hear what is unsaid. So in this case, that would be rewatching these on my own. And for you, rewatch your videos on your own, speaking to let go, which is what I'm doing now. Each time I prepare to do this process, there's the apprehension, there's an opportunity to delay, to procrastinate. One of the excerpts in 30 Days of Thought is procrastination is the only true death, or something along those lines. There's a angst. There's an uncertainty that leads to angst. But I follow the process. I read the thought. I write down my bullet points. Some quotes come to mind. I have an idea of how I'm going to go into this and embrace these thoughts, these former thoughts, and grapple with them freely with you. That there's still an angst. There's a apprehension. There's a putting off there, and it's scary. It's scary. I think I know, I believe I'm going to grow through the process. But it's scary. Things I'm not even aware of are encumbering me from being able to break down who I am today to be birthed anew, who I can be tomorrow. There's a Jungian quote here I want to read you. Those people who are least aware of their unconscious side are the most influenced by it. Those people who are least aware of their unconscious side are the most influenced by it. The 30 Days of Thought process for you might be your opportunity to be less influenced by what has been forgotten, what's been avoided, what's scary, dark. What do you believe? What do you believe that you believe? There's what we do, there's what we say. How integrated am I in what I actually do versus what I say? The perception of who I am to you, the listener, and who I actually am in the real world. What kind of leader am I actually? What kind of person am I actually? Seize every day, but grapple with what is to be focused on now, and you shall be set free. There's psychological paradox in that, because the more deeply enslaved I am, I'm not going to act upon what I'm avoiding. That's where other people come in. Other people in my life that can help me. And I better beware not to call them my enemies too easily, but maybe they're my friend. Your destiny will become real and rooted in truth with proper execution. Oh, I also wrote this note here. Our free will is relative to interpersonal conflicts. Yeah, I think there's a relationship with how free we actually are, with the awareness that we have, which has a relationship with how we relate with people, all people, friends, enemies, loved ones, employees, employers, peers, and so on and so forth. There's a relationship of our ability. Whatever free will we have will be revealed in how we relate to other people. That's why I wrote, it is our perceived free will, that of decision, that will cause our year to be rich or poor. To win our lives back from the unconscious slavery, we must take the year and break it down in a quarter. If we're talking about a business context, number 3 note here was reduce to the ridiculous. Let's just use the example of working business. If we don't have if I'm not holding a calendar, you or I, of who I'm meeting on that day, why I'm meeting them, how I look to get give and get the most out of that calendar time block, and the week isn't clear, the month isn't clear, the quarter isn't clear, the the year isn't clear. Where are we in 3 years? Where are we in 7? The less planning, the less thought, the less reflection, the less reduction to the ridiculous, the more reactive I'm going to be. In a business sense, accumulating success, like results in labor, intellectual, physical, both. Proactive planning, proactive prioritization, proactive ability to respond to conflict versus procrastinating or avoiding is going to create output. It's going to create results. It's going to create a business result. Reactive, the absence of everything I just said. Proactive, a part of everything I just said. Now, of course, business, the success of business creates reactivity, because now once we succeed, we're reacting to the results of former proactivity. In a more existential sense, like humanism, there's even in proactivity, we can think we're being proactive when we're not. Proactive reactivity, proactively reactive. Am I saying that right? I'm thinking out loud. Yeah, that's funny. Be reacting within. Yeah. We reacting within a proaction. That is the number 2, which is the point. The conversation around our ability to act outside of the unconscious impulses that guide our behaviors we may not want. That ability will be proportionate to how we relate with all people in our lives, all constituents, all avatars of relation, family, enemies, strangers, clients, employees, investors. Every relationship will reveal parts and components of our humanness, where we are at, where we're strong, where we're weak. Where was I? To win our lives back from unconscious slavery, we must take the year and break it down to the quarter. Yeah, so this is specifically like business. Take the quarter. That's how I'm looking at it right now in the moment. Take the quarter and divide it into months. Adjust the month to a week to a day. Carpe Diem. Seize the day. Seize the day. Plan, prioritize, have the ability to say no. We'll get to saying no to the homeless metaphor at the end of the book, midway. The ability to say no, so that the yeses that I can actually invest into are the best yeses. They're the best yeses. Capitalize on each face, be it high or low by the hour. Class the hour by the minute, and the second by each moment. And now you have the formula for success. Do not wait or procrastinate. Number 4, success is a process of your decisions. Yeah, that was that quote. Success does not show up. It is a process of your decisions. Here, in a more maybe helpful analogy, even this process of just getting recording these in a day, reading the thought, spending some time writing thoughts down, notes, so there's some order to the chaos of where my thoughts are going to go in this elaboration. It's also something to reflect upon and really think through the thought, the consistency of that, filming this, having this conversation with you, watching it again later. So I can be forced to look at myself and see where I'm strong and see where I'm weak and really work through myself. Just the compound effect of doing it daily. I think most of what I have of value has come as a result. When I say have a value, the outcomes of the success of our organization, those that we have the ability to serve, and the success of their organizations, the success that I feel as a person, developing pride in myself, of who I'm becoming, what I'm accomplishing, what we are becoming, what we are accomplishing. It's a result of consistent daily responsibilities kept. The word kept to myself, to others, reading, whether it's turning that next page. I've been reading this book for years. I'm on like page 115. It's like, how many more years am I going to read it? Well, just one page. Just turn the page. One page. And this, what is this book? It's Human Action, a treatise on economics. It's a profound book, regardless of one's ideological persuasion. It's a profound economic treatise. And just turn the page. Whether it's that or any other of these other ones, or audiobooks, or the meetings that we have with our client partners, that or this process, or it's walking on the treadmill, or doing an exercise, keeping the commitment with the personal trainer in the morning, and not coming up with some rationalization not to keep the commitment. The consistency every day. Success is a process of our decisions. There's a compounding effect to it. Writing, even putting this book together, the consistency of writing letters that I write to people that are in my life. Without the consistency of daily and weekly, I don't think things would be what they are. That's a scary place. Where would I be without consistency? I don't know. I do know I don't want to share it with you. Number 6, my thought here was, I'm building my tomorrow. Oh yeah, I already read that. I'm building my tomorrow self based on my today self, which has a relationship with my past self, whether I realize it or not, or are able to admit or not. Hopefully, as you go through reading these thoughts, writing your thoughts, sharing your thoughts on social media, through video, through your podcast, watching yourself of what you said, listening to the feedback in the comment section, both of your perception, positive and or negative, not blocking people, not deleting comments, not immediately getting defensive, but openly inquiring and pursuing viewpoints of others, that you're going to benefit from self-awareness and self-development, and become closer to what you want, what you think you want, what you actually want, that you may not think you want, or recognize that you want, who you are, and address some of what could be leading to procrastination, some of what could be leading to irreducible anxiety. Seizing the day. Hopefully you're able to succeed in a materialistic sense, an aesthetic sense, in a worldly sense, in business. I mean, that would be ideal if you're a business person, you're pursuing that path. Because what is business ultimately? It's how people work together to provide goods and services we all use. It's a part of life. Work, whether with our hands, with our minds, with our mouths, with our ears, with all of them. It's how we orient and evolve ourselves in the world to provide the basic essentials for our families and meaningful essentials: time, experience, quality of time and experience with our families. So, yeah, the idea of seize the day is, or Carpe Diem means seize the day. So, who could you be avoiding in dialogue right now? What could you be avoiding in responsibility, your ability to respond to something that must be done, that's not being done, that you want to be done, but fear the doingness of it? Seize the day. Continue through 30 days of thought and leverage this process as a way for you to think your own thoughts, share your own thoughts, step into yourself, become more clear on what you want and why you want it and where you're going with your business, without your business, as an employee, as a student, as wherever you are in your journey. Take the process of 30 days of thought and continue reading to think, writing to develop, listening to hear what's unsaid, speaking to let go. And the idea is that you're going to end up being a better person, a better leader of higher quality, higher caliber, with an ability to say no when it makes sense, say yes when it makes sense, and be of quality. And I'm on the journey with you, and I'll see you at the next excerpt, which I think is Laws of Man, which I may film right after this. Let's see if I could do 2 in a day. I don't know. We'll see. That was just an emotional impulse to say that. Now it's recorded forever. Am I really going to do it? Is it the right thing to do? Should it just be one of these in a day? Now I should articulate this, or I think it would be helpful that the 30 days of thought process, everyone's used it in different ways. I mean, the title says 30 days of thought. You could pick 30 days and do one every day for 30 days. Put it on social media, on your podcast, of your thoughts, of the thoughts, with or without mentioning me. It's irrelevant. It's a process of your 30 days of thought, not my 30 days of thought. 30 days of thought is your 30 days of thought. Once you start the process, I just wrote the first thoughts so that you could think your own thoughts in the process of 30 days of thought: reading to think, writing to develop, listening to hear what's unsaid, right? Watching yourself later, speaking like go, filming just like I am, putting it out to the world. There's a self-awareness, leadership development program, methodology for you. So you could do 30 days like that. Right now, I've challenged myself to record all of the thoughts in the book. And even with the introduction and everything, dedications, it comes out to over 116 potential videos at least. And so I believe that's a way to challenge myself to expose the idea of 30 days of thought as a program for you and those you care about, or those you dislike, whoever you'd like to recommend it to, or lead by example and do it yourself. Because it's helped me and it's helped other people, and I've done a damn poor job exposing this. I mean, it's years and years and years old now, and people are still doing it. And that makes me think, I really have, what a shame if I don't work more diligently at exposing this process to people. So I'm pushing myself to record these, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do multiple. I've said the last few days, oh, I want to do more than one a day. And when it's come down to it, I've been unable to do it. So let's see what happens. But ultimately, it's time consuming, it's energy consuming, it's hard, it's not easy. I'm writing the thoughts, I'm reading them again, I'm thinking, I'm figuring, coming up with I even forgot a thought here. It's really stressing me. I'm not the same person I was when I wrote it. And there's so many more things I'd like to say about each excerpt. And that's exciting to me, the years later that I'm doing this after having written the thoughts. The process is our, number 7 thought here was advisors, mentors, social groups. That all helps seize the day because it's feedback, constructive. Constructive feedback can feel deconstructive. So there's no learning without pain. I think that was Aristotle. It should be a painful process. You want to avoid it. That's where friends come in, like accountability partners, advisors, mentors, role models. Social groups, peer groups, get friends together, do 30 days of thought together, hold one another accountable. So I'm going to continue pursuing 30 days of thought, and I'll see you on the next excerpt.